you. So let's go to another person. Let me go to Ikechukwu. Okay, Ikechukwu, can you tell us who you are? Introduce yourself. Ikechukwu, you are still on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now, please?
Yes, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Okay, yes, as I was saying, my name is Mr. Kalu Ikechukwu, and I'm a first degree graduate of Geoinformatics and Land Surveying from the University of Uyo. I graduated as the best student in the Department of Geoinformatics and Surveying in 2018 from my school. So I am currently based in Uyo because I just concluded my mandatory National Youth Service Corps program. That is where I'm involved in research and also a little business to sustain myself.
So if we, what kind of business is that?
The business is actually more about fashion designing and also the selling of beans flour. But what I do with majority of my time is I engage in hydrogeodesy research, where I utilize the functions of MATLAB, Matrix Laboratory, to do analysis. So I am also involved in tutoring masters and PhD candidates who find problems in using the MATLAB for their analysis. So I teach them, and for example, one of them in our department now who is trying to work on a satellite data called GRACE. GRACE is a satellite launched for measuring gravity around the Earth, which is used in monitoring variations of groundwater changes around the whole world. So we use MATLAB. I use MATLAB to do that kind of analysis so that I can make predictions of droughts and flooding. And I also apply complex mathematical methods such as gamma theta and other mathematical functions in order to reduce noise from these satellite data.
Okay. I was told that you were somehow involved in one program called Sulvme. What about that program? What is Sulvme and what did you do in Sulvme?
Okay, Sulvme was a program launched in order to help students who are weak in calculations, not just mathematics, but also physics, chemistry, and every other calculation course. It's just a group of young men and women that came together to be able to actualize this dream. So what we do at Sulvme is that we engage in home-to-home tutoring of students. We tutor students on these courses, mathematics and other relevant calculation courses, and also we host mathematics competitions. So far, we've been able to host 2 mathematics competitions. The first one was in 2018, around December, and the second one was in 2019. So due to the coronavirus and lockdown, we've not been able to host any competition this year. But it's also important to note that these competitions were all held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, and we saw serious progress. I mean, from the second one we saw serious progress compared to the first one we did. So it's just an avenue of enlightening and engaging students to be able to pick their interest in the area of calculations and mathematics.
Okay, so if there's an opportunity, are you considering expanding the Sulvme program to other places like Abia or Enugu, Anambra? Is that something you would like to consider?
Yes, sir, that was part of the drawing plan. We planned that in due time, after we must have held a series of competitions to be able to build our foundations here in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, we will now spread our wings to first other local governments in Akwa Ibom State, And after we must have covered a lot of grounds in Akwa Ibom State, we now move to the neighboring state, Abia State, to also continue with the program. So we had that in mind. We have that in mind also.
Okay, so why is it that some of these things cannot be done at the same time? Just like when an exam such as NECO or WAEC is being taken, it is taken across the board on the same day or within the same week. So why is it that the competition cannot be held at the same time in all the local governments or even across the state? Maybe you're holding one at Aba and one at Uyo and one at Umuahia, things like that, on the same day or within the same period, since it is something like a competition.
Okay. From the little experience I could gather from this series of competitions I've been hosting, I discovered that it was a very capital-intensive project, even when you reduce it to the barest minimum, because when you want to host competitions, you have to include the prizes, which has to be something worthwhile to be able to allow schools to come, so that they will have something they are fighting for. So it has to be something worthwhile. You have to consider that. You have to consider a lot of the accommodation, the security, the welfare of all the students and parents that will be there. So the thing is just that the money involved in hosting this competition in several locations at the same time is something that I couldn't really afford, because the only sponsorship that Sulvme got was from Link Moment, and that was even why we were able to host the second competition. So because of poor funds, which was not due to lack of maybe not trying, because we tried to apply to several organizations, to banks, to a lot of institutions to get funding for the program, but most of them we are not interested. I don't know, maybe because it's something academic related. So if we are able to get funding, it will be something it's something we want to do. So it's something we can easily execute. So I say the major reason why we were not able to host that was just funding.
Okay, so now if somebody some students are taking WAEC now or NECO, do they have any external security?
If students are taking WAEC, of course, the venue where they are taking the exam, they have to provide security for those students, because if anything should happen to them, the management of the school will be held responsible. So it's something we have to, and you know, Sulvme is not like a mandatory exam like WAEC or NECO. So regardless, we have to provide security for the parents and the teachers that will be coming there. So we have to make adequate preparation that no problem will be in the venue. Immediately after the competition, they just leave, and then we know we have our hands off it. So if it is in terms of security, I believe Sulvme, we have to provide security whenever we are hosting something that we want people to come around. Especially these are little children that came with their parents. Some of them came alone. So it's very important to provide security for them.
Okay, thank you. So you said you graduated the best student. Congratulations for that. We are so proud of you. So now, my understanding is that sometimes the school tries to hire the best students. Have you tried to make any application, or even in your school or somewhere else?
Yes. The policy with the university, or should I say the agreement between my faculty and the university, is that since it's a professional discipline where most young people, once they graduate, they want to go and practice, is a lucrative discipline, a lucrative profession, because when you survey land, these days you hear mandatory deposit, depending on the area of the land, maybe if it's less than 500 square meters, you are hearing 120,000, 150,000, depending on the location also. So you see that many good students, they also follow the trend. And when they graduate, they also leave campus. So they want to go and practice and make some money. So the few ones who have the interest of, who have interest in academics, who want to lecture or who want to teach, it's university policy that those ones are adopted. But what we came to see was that in recent years, those people were no longer being adopted this. But the situation with mine was that when I finished, due to the knowledge I have in mathematics, in MATLAB, and in geodesy, so I served my NYC. I did it in the university, in the department.
Oh, best graduating students.
I was lecturing in the university department as a copper. So after my youth service, the HOD has tried to push my application to the VC and also try to explain to the VC why I need to be retained in the department. So I can say in response to your question that yes, I've made an attempt to apply for the position of graduate assistant or
the professional license. Is this something that you are considering?
Yes, it's something I'm considering seriously because just as my uncle told me once that it's kind of useless if you finish a professional discipline and you don't have license to practice. And he gave me an example of a lawyer who finished the university. He didn't go to law school. So it's very, very important to have the license, and then you also practice your discipline. I really enjoy outdoor activities, as camping, and even the surveying profession itself. I love going to the bush. You know, we survey our areas and all that. We survey the location and all that. So I say yes. I'm actually considering getting my professional license. I hope by God's grace in the next 2 years, so I should have that.
Okay, so is there an application fee that has to be paid to actually get something going right now?
Yes, when you want to apply for pupillage, we call it pupillage in surveying. Pupillage is what you embark on as a fresh graduate because as I am now, I can't certify any plan. I'm not recognized by the Surveying Council of Nigeria, which is the strongest surveying body in Nigeria. So for me to get my license, what I need to do is to go and serve under another registered surveyor for 2 years and carry out some professional jobs. And after 2 years, I can come and write my exam and defend the profession to show that I know what I'm doing. So the fee involved there is like now that I want to start, I have to pay, buy the form, send some files to Abuja, and a lot of things like that. So from the inquiry I made, I found out that it was approximately 50,000 naira to do all these things. Then after 2 years, when I will now want to come and write the exam, because I have to print a lot of plans, I have to register and all that, it's estimated that I've spent around 500,000 naira after 2 years. So I'll say within 550 to 600,000 in the space of 2 years can get me my professional license.
So now, if somebody now gets approximately 50,000 naira, you will get a professional. At least you will get the first one. Is that true?
Of course, I can get started with 50,000 naira. Once I have 50,000 naira now, I can buy the form and send my credentials to Abuja and then start the process. So the time I'm going to spend money again is after 2 years. That's when I'm now going to write the exam, which I'm confident I can't fail. I'll just write it once by God's grace. So after that's when I'm going to spend the next money.
Okay, so now have you contacted any of the surveying companies where you can do some of this training?
The pupillage, yes, the pupillage, because a lot of lecturers in my department who have great respect for me and the knowledge I possess, they really want me to be under them for the period of my 2 years pupillage. Even outside my lecturers, I have other surveyors who've heard about me because I'm a little popular in my department, because even as an undergraduate student, I was teaching master's students and I was teaching PhD students too on some applications such as MATLAB, and I also did some adjustment computations for them also. So in doing that, I got acquainted with a whole lot of surveyors inside Akwa Ibom State, even outside Akwa Ibom State. Even as I'm talking to you now, I have the contacts of the Surveyor General of this Akwa Ibom State. So these are people who have the mind to adopt me if I'm willing, or if I have the capability, the financial capability to start my professional journey. That is to get my license. So I have people who believe in me, who believe in my abilities, who can give me a space in their firm. So I just call them. So that is not an issue at all.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now let's see what Igbere People Forum can do to mobilize funds to get you the license. Now and then we thank every one of you who participated in this program. So Ikechukwu, can you give your number, your WhatsApp number right now?
Okay, my WhatsApp number is 0810 155 3917.
Once again,
0810 155 3917.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, including our viewers. We are done for the day. Thank you to all those who participated. We'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.